Hello, fellow book nerds! Let's talk about books coming out in January. So, new year, well, not yet, but new year, new books, time to talk about all the ones coming out in January that I want to read. And as you guys probably know by now, vote in the comments, let me know which one I should review. I'm excited for January. There looks like some good books coming out, and I know I love doing these videos, so thank you so much for letting me. But I love talking to you about new releases, and we have 8 that I'm very excited about. So you can vote in the poll, you can vote in the comments. I feel like I just said this, but it's fine. So the first book I'm very excited about is The Girl Who Knew Too Much by Tiffany Brooks. So this is a YA mystery thriller. It's coming out on 1st of January, so like starting with a bang. What really appealed to me about this one is that it says it's Survivor meets Lord of the Flies in this fast-paced reality TV style mystery about 20 teens dropped on a deserted island to compete for a cash prize. But the hidden treasure is the one they will stop at nothing to find. It kind of reminds me of Beauty Queens by Libba Bray. I love Beauty Queens. I just think it's such a good book, and this kind of reminds me of it. I think this is a thriller, not like a dark comedy, but still, I really like the Lost at an Island vibe. I really loved, was it The Wild or something? There's a new show on Prime TV. I really like that one as well, so I have high hopes. So this one looks very good. And second one is a strange one for me, but I think it could be very good. So it's called A Deadly Affair, Unexpected Love Stories from the Queen of Mystery, Agatha Christie. So this is by Agatha Christie, and it's coming out on 4th of January. It's a mystery short stories. So it says, from the Queen of Mystery, this all-new collection of stories about love gone horribly wrong will get your heart racing. Love can propel us to our greatest heights and darkest depths. In this new collection of Agatha Christie short stories, witness the dark side of love, crimes of passion, games of the heart, and deadly affairs. This pulse-pounding compendium features beloved detectives from Hercule Poirot and Miss Marple, masters of charades Parker Pyne and the enigmatic Harley Quinn, and the adventurous Tommy and Tuppence, all in a ready-to-solve tantalizing mystery. It sounds really fun, so it's basically it says never seen, so I don't know if they found some new writing or just saving up till now. So the next book is Where the Drowned Girls Go by Seanan McGuire. So this one's coming on January 4th, and it's a YA fantasy, and it's another companion novel in the Wayward Children series. So if you don't know, Seanan McGuire has the series where children get lost in these alternate portal fantasy worlds, and they come back, and then they have this school where they can come to. It's kind of them coping with being ripped apart from a world completely perfect for them. So I think this one's maybe like maybe like 5th, 6th book. So all of them are kind of connected, but they can be read as standalones if you want to. So this is the synopsis for this one. Welcome to the Wifehorn Institute. The first step is always admitting you need help, and you've already taken that step by requesting a transfer into our company. There is another school for children who fall through doors and fall back out again. It isn't as friendly as Eleanor West's home for wayward children, and it isn't as safe. When Eleanor West decided to open her school, her sanctuary, her home for wayward children, she knew from the beginning that there would be children she couldn't save. When Cora decides she needs a different direction, a different fate, a different prophecy, Miss West reluctantly agrees to transfer her to the other school, where things are run very differently by Whitehorn, the headmaster. She will soon discover that not all doors are welcoming. Oh my god, so it's in the other school. I've been excited and dying to know about this other school. So the Wayward Children's School is like the one for children who went to like nice worlds, or at least like okay worlds, but then this other school is for children that went to like super troubling worlds and they don't want to go back, and it's like So I've been waiting at least 5 or 6 books for this, so I am very excited. This one sounds really good. I'm still yet to find one that like has captured all of my heart. My favorite book is still the second book, but you know, it sounds good. So the next book is Echoes and Empires by Rhodes. So this one's coming out on 4th of January as well, and it's a YA fantasy. And this is by the author of the Fallen Kingdom series, which I've not read, but I heard good things, so I was kind of intrigued and I really like the cover. But here's the synopsis. Jocelyn Drake knows only 3 things about magic. It's rare, illegal, and always deadly. So when she's caught up in a robbery gone wrong at the Queen's Gala and infected by a dangerous piece of magic, one that allows her to step into the memories of an infamous evil warlock, she finds herself living her worst nightmare. Jess needs the magic removed before it corrupts her soul and kills her. But in Ironport, the cost of doing magic is death, and seeking help might mean scheduling her own execution. There is nobody she can trust. Nobody, that is, except wanted criminal Jericho Knox, who offers her a deal. His help extracting the magic in exchange for the magic itself. And then, though she's not thrilled by the working with a thief, especially one as infuriating and infuriatingly handsome as Jericho, Joss is desperate enough to accept. But Jericho is nothing like Jess expects. The closer she grows with Jericho, the more she sees of that world outside her pampered life in the city, the more Jess begins to question the beliefs she's always taken for granted. Beliefs about right and wrong, about power and magic, and even about herself. In an empire built on lies, the truth may be the greatest weapon. Now I've read the synopsis, it really reminds me of Best of Shades, and it's one of my all-time favorite books, so I ain't complaining. The next book has the most gorgeous cover ever, and it is The Daughter of Moon Goddess by Lynn Tan, and it's coming out on the 11th of January, and it's a YA fantasy, and I fell in love with the cover, perfection. It just screams perfection. It is perfection. I mean, you can't argue with that. So the synopsis is: growing up on the moon, Xingyin is accustomed to solitude, unaware that she is being hidden from the feared Celestial Emperor, who exiled her mother for stealing his elixir of immortality. But when Xingyin's magic flares and her existence is discovered, she is forced to flee her home, leaving her mother behind. Alone, powerless, and afraid, she makes her way to the Celestial Kingdom, a land of wonder and secrets. Disguising her identity, she seizes an opportunity to learn alongside the Emperor's son, mastering archery and magic, even as passions flames between her and the prince. To save her mother, Xingyin embarks on a perilous quest, confronting legendary creatures and vicious enemies across the earth and skies. But when treachery looms and forbidden magic threatens the kingdom, she must challenge the ruthless Celestial Emperor for her dream, striking a dangerous bargain in which she is torn between losing all she loves or plunging the realm into chaos. Daughter of Moon and Goddess begins an enchanting romantic duology which weaves ancient Chinese mythology into a sweeping adventure of immortals and magic, where love vies with honor, dreams are fraught with betrayal, and hope emerges triumphant. I think this is based on a Chinese legend where it's a goddess of moon, and then she's tall and she is immortal, and she refused to share her immortality with her boyfriend or something, and he fell. I watched an animated movie about it, but it was really good. So the book I'm probably most excited about and definitely want to read is The Red Palace by June Hur. So this one's coming out on 25th of January, and it's a YA historical thriller, and the author says it's like a historical K-drama. So it says Joseon, Korea, 1758. There are few options available to illegitimate daughters in the capital city, but through hard work and study, 18-year-old Hyun has earned a position as a palace nurse. All she wants is to keep her head down, do a good job, and perhaps finally win her estranged father's approval. But Hyun is suddenly thrust into dark and dangerous world of court politics when someone murders 4 women in a single night, and the prime suspect is Hyun's closest friend and mentor. Determined to prove her beloved teacher's innocence, Hyun launches her own secret investigation. In her hunt for the truth, she encounters Eugene, a young police inspector also searching for the killer. When evidence begins to point to the crown prince himself as the murderer, Hyun and Eugene must work together to search the darkest corner of the palace and uncover deadly secrets behind the bloodshed. Very, very, very exciting. I'm so excited. I need this book. It looks gorgeous. The fan art is gorgeous. Everything about it is gorgeous, and I'm so excited. So the next book I think has a lot of potential, but I don't know, we'll see. So this one's called Violeta by Isabel Allende, and it's coming out on 25th of January, and it's a historical fiction, and it's adult, and it's kind of like magical realism. So this is what the hook was. This sweeping novel from the New York Times bestselling author of A Long Petal of the Sea tells the epic story of Violeta del Valle, a woman whose life spans 100 years and bears witness to the greatest upheavals of the 20th century. So I thought this could be what Addie LaRue couldn't be, which is a good book. I'm sorry, Addie LaRue was alright, but it pissed me off, and I felt like it didn't capture this immortality well enough, which I think something that Circe, for example, does very well. So I felt like this book kind of sounded like that, but more like historical fiction, and more adult. So I think it has a lot of potential. So this is the synopsis. Violeta comes into the world on a stormy day in 1920, the first girl in a family of 5 boisterous sons. From the start, her life will be marked by extraordinary events, for the ripples of the Great War are still being felt, and even as the Spanish flu arrives on the shores of her South American homeland, almost at the moment of her birth. Through her father's resonance, the family will come through that crisis unscathed, only to face a new one as the Great Depression. Her family loses all and is forced to retreat to a wild and beautiful but remote part of the country. There, she will come of age, and her first suitor will come calling. She tells her story in the form of a letter to someone she loves above all others, recounting devastating heartbreak and passionate affairs, times of both poverty and wealth, terrible loss and immense joy. Her life will be shaped by some of the most important events of history: the fight for women's rights, the rise and fall of tyrants, and ultimately not one but 2 pandemics. Told through the eyes of a woman whose unforgettable passion, determination, and sense of humor will carry her through a lifetime of upheaval, Isabel Allende once more brings us an epic that is both fiercely inspiring and deeply emotional. See, now I am confused, because I can't tell from this synopsis if it's her being young for 100 years or she just lived a very long life. Because it says magical realism, and that I didn't read the full synopsis, so I don't know, but it still kind of sounds good, like something I'd give a try if I had nothing else to read. And the next one is like an interesting one as well. So it's Star Child, a biographical constellation of Octavia Estelle Butler by E.B. Zoboi. So this one's coming on 25th of January. And it's a nonfiction poetry and a middle grade, and it's about Octavia Butler, and it says acclaimed novelist E.B. Zoboi illuminates the young life of the visionary storyteller Octavia A. Butler in poems and prose. Born to the space race, the Red Scare, and the dawning civil rights movement, Butler experienced an American childhood that shaped her into the groundbreaking science fiction storyteller whose novels continue to challenge and delight readers 15 years after her death. I've not actually read anything from Octavia E. Butler. Oh my, why am I having such a hard time? I've not actually read anything from Octavia E. Butler, but I really want to, especially Parable of the Sower. Very, very excited for that one. So once I read those, I think then I'm going to try to read this book, because I read this author's another novel by him. I think it was like Punching the Air, which was really good. It was also in... it was like a poem, so I think listening to it as an audiobook will be the best way for me, because I am not that into poetry, so I find it easy, or like just poetic language in general. I find it easier when it's read out to me, so I think that'd be a good way. Anyway, enough of my chattering. I really hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know which book I should read and review, which one you're most curious about. Let me know which one you'll be reading. I'd love to hear it. And if I missed any of your most anticipated releases, let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. That's it from me. If you could comment, like, and subscribe, I'd really, really appreciate it. It really helps me out. But that's it from me, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!